So hello and welcome everyone once again to a video in which I'm going to be solving one of the LRDS sets of CAT 2023 slot 1. So this set is a set which is dependent upon statistics in which restaurants give rating to gig workers. If you have not yet tried out solving this set, then I will ask you to pause the set or the video right here and read the set from the screen, try out the set yourself. It's a pretty simple set to solve. Try it out yourself and after that only proceed to watch the solution. Okay. Now, this set here is a very simple set, especially if you have a basic understanding of statistics and the terms and terminologies associated with it. Then this set is definitely something that I think that people should have picked up in CAT 23 paper. In fact, not just in CAT 23, in a standard CAT paper. This is a set that could have been picked up and could have been solved very, very quickly and very, very easily. Now, let's read the set and get a sense of understanding of all the data, all the key piece of data which is present in the text of the set itself. First thing that we have been told here is that the means of the rating given by the 5 restaurants R1, R2, R3, R4 are 3.5, 2.2, 3.8, 2.8 and 3.4 respectively. Now, mean is what? Mean is nothing but average. Right? So average rating of each of the restaurants is calculated as sum of the 5 ratings that they gave to the 5 workers divided by 5. Right? So that is how these mean ratings have been calculated. And after that, we have been given a table in which each of the gig workers' mean, median, mode, and range has been given. Now, what is mean? Mean, we have already explained what is meaning of mean. Mean is the sum of all the ratings divided by 5. So all the 5 restaurants would have given some rating to each worker. Sum of those divided by 5 will be the mean rating for each worker. Median rating is when you sequence the 5 ratings given by the restaurants to each worker in an ascending order. Then the central term will be median. In this case, because there are 5 restaurants, so every worker will get 5 ratings. So of the 5 ratings, the central rating will be the third rating. The third highest rating will be the median rating. So what this means is, suppose the first worker gets 5 ratings of U1, U2, U3, U4 and U5 from the 5 restaurants. And these are the ratings when they're arranged in an ascending order. Then the central rating will be U3 and this is going to be calculated as the median rating. So this will be the median rating. Next, we have modal rating. Now, modal rating or mode is basically the most frequently occurring number in a sequence. So most frequently occurring number means which number is present the maximum number of times among the 5 ratings given by the 5 restaurants. Now, if someone gets a different rating from each and every restaurant, suppose the 5 restaurants are rating a particular worker, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. Then there is no most frequently occurring number. All the 5 numbers are occurring only once. So all 5 numbers will then become the mode. But if say one person has received ratings like this from the 5 restaurants, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Then the rating 3 has been given twice to the worker by 2 different restaurants. So number 3 occurs the maximum number of times, the most frequently. So 3 becomes median, or sorry, 3 becomes a mode. So the maximum number of times that a number is occurring as a rating will become the modal rating for each of these workers. Now, sometimes like it is happening in the case of Yusuf, there can be multiple modes. Multiple modes means 2 or more numbers are occurring the same number of times. Now, what we have to note from the modal rating here is that every single worker apart from Yusuf has got only one modal rating, which means each of these numbers should have been given as a rating to the worker by the restaurants at least twice, because if it was given only once, it cannot be the most frequently occurring rating. So Ullas would have received 2 as a rating by at least 2 restaurants. Vasu would have received 4 from at least 2 restaurants. Waman would have received 5 from at least 2, and Xavier would have received 5 from at least 2. Now Yusuf has got 2 modes, 1 and 4, which means the only possibility is that there are 2 restaurants which have given him the rating of 1 and 2 restaurants which have given him the rating of 4. And the 5th restaurant has given him some other rating apart from 1 and 4, because 1 and 4 have occurred equally frequently as rating for Yusuf. So from that, we can conclude that Yusuf has received 2 1s and 2 4s as ratings from the restaurant. And finally, the range is given. What is the definition of range has been given to us in this particular line itself. But even if it is not given, range of a set of data is always difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. So which means if a worker has got a rating of 1, you cannot get a rating of lower than 1. The lowest rating of 1 from a restaurant and the maximum rating of 5 from a restaurant. Then the range of rating for that worker will be 5 minus 1, 4. So the maximum range possible in this particular set for each and every worker from restaurants will be 4. If the range is 3, then either the worker's lowest rating is 2 and the maximum rating is 5, or the lowest rating is 1 and the maximum rating received by that worker is 4. That is what range means. Apart from that, partial information in statements A and B have been given. Now, if you understand this much from the set, then we can make a table and we can first make a note of the data given in statements A and B in the table itself. So A gives us which all restaurants gave a rating of 5 to which all gig workers. So I made a note of it here. R1 has given a rating of 5 to Waman. R3 has given it to Waman and Xavier. And R2 has given it to Xavier only. And R5 has given it to Vasu. So this is what a statement is. So we have put in 5 in all these places. Similarly, a rating of 1 has been given to Ullas by R1, Waman by R2, and Yusuf also by R2, and to Yusuf by R3. So these things we have made a note of in this table. Okay. Next, what we will do is that we will use this table which was given to us in the question itself. Specifically, we will use the mean ratings to calculate the total, the sum total of all the 5 ratings given by the 5 restaurants for each and every worker. Why? Because if I multiply the mean by 5, I will get the sum total of all the ratings. Right? So using that, I have found out that the total rating received by Ullas is 11, Vasu is 19, Waman is 17, Xavier is 18, Yusuf is 13. So mean multiplied by 5 will give us this. Similarly, I have taken that particular sentence from this set, which is giving us a mean rating of each and every restaurant. So which means even for each and every restaurant, we can multiply the mean rating by 5 to find out the sum total of all the ratings given by one single restaurant to the 5 gig workers. So when I do that, multiplying each of these by 5, I get R1's total as 17, R2's total as 11, R3's total as 19, R4 as 14, R5 as 17. So if we add up the ratings given by the restaurants in the rows, then in the right-hand most column, I will get the sum of each row. And similarly, in the bottommost row, I will get the sum of each column. That is how conveniently I made the table. And why I've taken this is because this 78 should be the same here and here. So this is a test whether I have made a note of the data correctly or not, whether I've calculated the total by multiplying the means by 5 correctly or not. So if the sum of the last column and the sum of the last row both are equal, then that means that we have made a note of the data correctly. Right? So with this being clear, let us now proceed to try to figure out new things from within the set about the data which is missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the table which has been given inside the set. And along with that, I'm going to make one more table, one more very simple table, which I'm going to populate as the 5 different ratings given to each of the gig workers, irrespective of which restaurant gives what. So basically, first, using the second table, I'm trying to find out what all numbers have been given as ratings for each of these workers using the mean, median, and mode and range data for each of the workers. Right? So let me explain how I'll go about this. Firstly, I will start with you. The worker you or the worker Ullas has got one rating of 1 already given by R1. So I made a note of it here in the row of Ullas. Now, apart from that, what we can see is that the mode for Ullas is 2, which means that 2 has to be the most frequently occurring rating. So at least 2 people would have given him the rating of 2. 2 restaurants would have given him the rating of 2. So I will put 2, 2 there. That thing we can find out. Next, what we can see is that the range for Ullas is 3, which means difference between maximum and minimum rating has to be 3. Now, Ullas's minimum rating has to be 1 because he cannot get a rating of less than 1. So his maximum secured rating will be 1 plus 3, 1 plus the range, because maximum rating minus minimum rating is 3. So 1 plus 3, 4 will be the maximum rating that he has gotten. Now let's add these 4 numbers up. These 4 are definitely ratings that Ullas has gotten, is something that I can conclude. If I add these 4 up, I get 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 9. Whereas total rating for Ullas is 11. So which means the 5th rating that Ullas would have gotten from some restaurant has to be 11 minus 9, 2. So these are the 5 numbers which have been given as ratings to Ullas. Similarly, let's try to calculate that for Vasu. Again, if I look at Vasu, his mode is 4. So 2 restaurants would have given him a rating of 4. Next, his range is again 3. And we know that Vasu has got a maximum possible rating of 5 already. So his minimum possible rating will be 5 minus 3, 2. So again, I have got, say 4 of the ratings already. Let's add the sum. 5 plus 4, 9 plus 4, 13 plus 2, 15. So 15, but the total is 19. So the remaining restaurant would have given him a rating of 19 minus 15, 4. So these 5 numbers are Vasu's ratings. Similarly, Vaman's 3 ratings are already known to us. 5, 1, 5. His mode is 5. So there are 2 5s already. So let's keep it at that. We have also been given that Vaman's median rating is 4, which means his central rating, the third highest rating for Waman has to be 4. So there has to be one restaurant which would have definitely given him 4, which has to be the third highest rating, right? So the fourth rating that we can figure out for Waman has to be 4. Now the last rating, the fifth rating has to be between 1 and 4. Why? Because 4 is the third highest rating. So third lowest rating. So the second lowest rating has to be between 1 and 4. So we can figure that out again by looking at the sum of the ratings for Waman. So the sum of these 4 ratings is 5 plus 5, 10 plus 1, 11 plus 4, 15. And here we have 17 as a total for Waman, which means the last restaurant must have rated him 17 minus 15, 2. Now moving on to Xavier. Xavier has gotten 2 5s and his mode is also 5, but his median is 4. So he must have received a 4 rating. The remaining 2 ratings had to be less than 4. The range for Xavier is 4. So he has gotten a 5 rating. So the least rating that he could have gotten is 1. So now we have got 4 ratings. Let's now calculate the sum. 5 plus 5, 10 plus 4, 14 plus 1, 15. So the total rating for Xavier is 18. The sum of these 4 is 15. So the last rating for Xavier will be 3. And finally, for Yusuf, we have got the fact that he has got 2 1s. And we also know that Yusuf has got 2 modes, 1 and 4. So there has to be 2 restaurants which should have given him a rating of 4 as well, as we had discussed at the beginning of the set. So the last restaurant would have given him what rating? Again, we can figure that out through the sum. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 10. And total for Yusuf is 13. So which means that the last restaurant would have given him a rating of 3. So like this, we can find out the 5 numerical values of the ratings that each of the workers has gotten. So let me type that here into this particular table, and the ratings which we have already filled up into the table with the corresponding restaurants for each of these workers, I am putting that in a red font so that we know which are the remaining values that I need to populate inside the table, right? So for you, for example, for this first gig worker, Ullas, for example, the remaining 4 ratings that need to be populated into the master table are going to be 3 2s and 1 4. So that is why I've kept these in black. Okay. So now let's try to figure out that which restaurants give which ratings first to Ullas and Vasu, because I feel that for these 2 people, it is easier to figure that out, that which restaurant gave them what rating. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus upon R2's total. See, R2's total rating that they have given to the 5 workers together is 11. Now, the sum of the 3 that we already know is 5 plus 1 plus 1, 7. So the remaining 2 ratings, the ratings that they gave to Ullas and Vasu, need to add up to 4. Right? 11 minus 7 is 4. So Ullas and Vasu's rating together should add up to 4. Now, how is it possible to get a sum of these numbers of Ullas and these numbers of Vasu's to become 4? Only possibility is 2 plus 2. So which means that R2 must have given Ullas 2, and R2 must have given Vasu 2 as well. So now I have populated 1 2 from here, 1 2 from here. So let me cancel that out. Okay. Now when I cancel this out, what I can observe is that for Vasu, the remaining 3 restaurants all have given him a rating of 4. So I can just populate 4 for all of these. So I've figured out which restaurant has given what rating for Vasu completely. So let me cancel out all the 4. So this is completely figured out. Now let's use again the sum of R3 to figure out how much rating Ullas has gotten. So the total has to be 19, and the total of the 4 terms that we know here is 4 plus 5 plus 5, 14 plus 1, 15. So the remaining rating here that R3 must have given to Ullas must be 4. So this 4 is taken care of. And the remaining 2 restaurants must have given a rating of 2 according to the table that we have made. So both the 2s I will populate as the ratings that have been given by R4 and R5 to Ullas. So like this, we can figure out what ratings each and every restaurant has given to Ullas and Vasu. Okay. So let me set this in stone and let me now proceed to the remaining 3 people, Waman, Xavier and Yusuf, which restaurant has given them what rating. Now, it's not as easy to figure out what restaurants have given them what ratings using the data that's been given in a very straightforward fashion. So we will have to use a process of elimination, that which case is possible and which is not. So let me take one case for Waman, because for Waman only 2 of the ratings are left. One restaurant has given him 4, and one has given him 2. So Either R4 has given him 2 and R5 has given him 4, or R4 has given him 4 and R5 has given him 2. So let's check each of these cases and let's see whether both are possible or only one of these two cases are possible. So let me take the first case of R4 giving Waman a rating of 2 and R5 giving Waman a rating of 4. Right? So these two I have populated here. Now let's see, based on this, if I can find out Xavier and Yusuf's rating. So for that, let me first focus on the sum of the row of R4. Now R4's total has to be 14. We already know that Ullas, Vasu and Waman together are contributing 8 to it. 4 plus 2 plus 2, 8. So Xavier and Yusuf's rating should contribute the remaining 6. 14 minus 8, 6. Now how can I get 6 by adding the remaining ratings of X and Y here? Only possibility is 3 plus 3. So the only possibility is that R4 has given Xavier 3, R4 has given Yusuf 3 as well. So both the 3s I can cancel out. So we cancel out both the 3s. Interesting thing for Yusuf is, Yusuf has gotten only 4 as a rating from the remaining 2 restaurants. So I can populate 4 and 4 here. So let me cancel out these 4s. Now let me try to find out what could have been the rating given to Xavier by R5. Now R5's total is 17. The 4 restaurants for which you already populated will add up to 5 plus 4, 9, plus 4, 13, plus 2, 15. So which means that only way that the total can be 17 here is if R5 gave Xavier a rating of 2. So 17 minus 15 is 2. But no restaurant has given Xavier a rating of 2. So what this means is that this case is not possible. It's not possible for R4 to give Waman a rating of 2 and R5 to give Waman a rating of 4. Which means the only possibility should be that R4 has given Waman 4 and R5 has given Waman 2. Let's see if that is possible, and if that is possible, then what kind of table do we get? So let us try the second case out, that R4 has given Waman a rating of 4 and R5 has given Waman a rating of 2. So again, using that, let's try to figure out the rating given by R4 to Xavier and Yusuf. Again, total is 14. The remaining 3 ratings, 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 10. So Xavier and Yusuf's rating together needs to add up to 14 minus 10, 4. That is only possible when Xavier gets 1 and Yusuf gets 3. Xavier 1, Yusuf 3 gives me 4 more. So that gets satisfied. Now, which means that Yusuf has to receive 4 and 4 from the remaining 2 restaurants, because the remaining 2 restaurants are giving 4 and 4. So these 2 4s are being populated as well. Now let's try to figure out where does Xavier get 3 and where does Xavier get 4. So for that, let's look at R1. R1 sum is 17. So the sum of the 4 that we populated is 1 plus 4, 5 plus 5, 10 plus 4, 14. So Xavier must have received the remaining 3. 17 minus 14 is 3. So this is also populated. By the way, this 2 and 4 we have populated already. So which means that R5 must have given Xavier a rating of 4. Let's see if it satisfies the summation condition or not. So 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So plus 4 will be 17. So everything gets satisfied. So this is the only possible case that we have as ratings for Xavier and Yusuf from the remaining restaurants. So this is the final master table that we require to answer all of the questions of this set. Now, if we have reached till here, from here the questions are very, very simple to solve. Question number 1 says, how many individual ratings cannot be determined from the above information? We have clearly populated the entire table. So there are 0 ratings that we cannot figure out. So the answer for question number 1 should be 0. Similarly, question 2 asks, how many workers did R2 give a rating of 4? R2 has given no ratings of 4. So second question's answer is also 0 for this set. Question 3 is, R1 gave what rating to Xavier? R1 has given a rating of 3 to Xavier. So the answer for question number 3 will be 3. Question 4 is, what is the median of the ratings given by R3 to the workers? So R3 lowest rating is 1. Second lowest rating is 4. Third lowest rating is also 4. So third lowest rating, or the third rating in ascending order, will be the median. So answer to question number 4 will be 4. And last question says, which among the following restaurants gave its median rating to exactly one of the workers? So let's check all the options one by one. Let's first check option A, R2. Now R2's lowest rating is 1. Second lowest rating is 1. Third lowest rating is 2. Now 2 has been given twice by R2. So R2 cannot be the answer. Let's check for R4. Option B is R4. Lowest rating is 1. Second lowest rating is 2. Third lowest rating is 3. So 3 has to be the median and 3 has been given only 1. So the answer should be R4. But still, let's once check option C and option D as well. For R5, lowest rating is 2. Second lowest rating is 2 also. Third lowest rating, which is the median, is 4. And 4 has been given twice. So R5 cannot be the answer. And for R3, similarly, lowest rating is 1. Second lowest rating is 4. Third lowest rating is also 4. So 4 is the median. So again, 4 has been given twice. So R3 cannot be the answer. So of course, the answer for question number 5 is option B, R4. So these are the answers to the set. Hope you all followed. If you like the solution, then please like the video. And thank you for watching.